Australian spouse visas and Australian fiancé visas. Now, we specialise in managing Australian partner visas and the prospective marriage visa for Australian men with spouses, partners and fiancés, especially from the Philippines. Our core clients are Australian men with Filipina ladies, although we do get us Aussie ladies with Filipino men too. And we can also help with visas for de facto couples. Now, Jeff's wife Mila migrated to Australia years ago as a fiancé visa holder, so we've been through the process and we know how it feels. We have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in this area, and our service is very personalised and professional. And it remains a mum and dad operation. Now, we're not a cold and heartless corporation, nor do we have a team of secretaries doing all the work. Every visa application is personally handled by Jeff Harvie. Our success rate is remarkable. That means you and all your partner, fiancé, spouse are in very safe hands with us. Australian tourist visas and family visas. Now, we no longer manage skilled work visas or investor visas or student visas from our practice due to our emphasis on partner visas. We do manage tourist visas for Australian Filipina couples, dependent child visas, parent visas and citizenship by descent. Now, why use down under visa for your Australian visa application? Now, the migration process is like a minefield. Getting a visa for your Filipina girl or Filipino man to Australia from the Philippines is fraught with complexities. We all know how important the outcome is. You want the visa to be granted, you do not want a visa refusal. Now, maybe you've already had a visa application refused. This is very common. We help a lot of applicants who've had one or more visas refused and rejected before. And in the majority of cases, we are successful in turning the situation around and getting them a visa grant. Or maybe you have a complicated case and you worry your visa application could be refused. Annulments, child custody issues, birth being late registered or any other NSO document problems, false documents, bogus documents, or applicants being fairly unsophisticated and with poor English skills. That will all add extra headaches if you try to manage the application by yourselves. Or does your Filipina fiancé have friends or relatives giving her poor advice and you can't deal with it? Now, you will benefit greatly from the input of Down Under Visa, which is run by an Australian Filipina couple who've been through all of this before. And we understand the paperwork and we understand Filipino culture. And Mila is a Filipina who speaks Tagalog. Or are you in a de facto relationship? And just believing yourselves to be in a de facto relationship is not enough in itself to get you an Australian partner visa. Now, if you can't prove the existence of this relationship with sufficient evidence and the right documents, then you also risk refusal of your visa application. Or is your Filipina lady in Australia already and you want to apply for her partner visa? Let her remain in Australia during the processing on a bridging visa. Are you confused about bridging visas in general? Most people are. Or are you simply confused by what you read on the Department of Immigration and Border Protection website? And have you visited all the advice websites and advice forums and found lots of contradictory advice from overconfident amateurs? You will benefit from the advice and guidance of a professional registered migration agent who specialises in spouse visas and fiancé visas from the Philippines. Now, we do partner visas, tourist visas primarily for couples, and a few family visas from the Philippines. That's all we do. Or do you want to accept that you are not an expert and you want to give yourself the best possible chance of this working? Don't risk the headaches yourselves and with the visa application process, and don't risk seeing your visa application refused. Contact Down Under Visa today, do our free online visa assessment and give yourself the best possible advantage. And we never let a client down. the facts about Australian visa applications. Now, migration law is based on the Migration Act of 1958 and the Migration Regulations of 1994, and Department of Immigration and Border Protection's Procedures Advice Manual and endless ministerial directions and parliamentary gazette notices. It also lacks consistency across the range of visa types and changes constantly. Now, basically, under Section 65 of the Act, if a visa application meets all the criteria of the legislation, in reality as interpreted by departmental policy, a visa will be issued. Get it right, you get a visa. But if the application does not meet the criteria, the visa will not be granted. There is no room for error, and if the application fails, you may experience serious re-application delays, or you may very well not get a second chance. If it's wrong in even a small way, you get nothing. If the outcome of your application and future plans means something to you, you should use a professional who knows all the ins and outs of the legislation and how the department interprets visa applications. We will assess your case and give you the right visa requirements for your situation and a personalised partner visa checklist, our to-do list or tourist visa checklist or others. Why would you settle for anything less? Isn't your future happiness and security worth it? So is your future something you should be penny pinching over? Why not give yourself the best possible chance? Now, we've managed hundreds, thousands at this stage, of partner visa applications successfully. Our costs and professional fees are very reasonable, and what price is too high a price to pay to get your spouse safely to Australia? Ask about our success rate as well as our fees. With Down Under Visa, you are in very safe hands. Thank you.